Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Leading Change. My name is Emma, and I've got my friend Rob with me today, and we're going to be talking about customer experience and maybe some win-win solutions that can come out of a different approach to customer experience. But Rob, before I get to the questions that I've got for you, can you give everybody an introduction?
Sure. It's great to be with you, Emma, and everyone out there that's watching or listening. My name is Rob Galbraith, founder and CEO of Forest View Insights. We really focus on kind of big picture topics and trends that impact the future. Spent over 25 years in the insurance industry in a variety of different positions, and kind of best known, I guess, as the author of The End of Insurance as We Know It, and kind of leading and championing innovation within the industry.
Thank you for joining me. So as I teased, we're going to be talking about this idea of customer experience. And so to get started, I want to talk about, within the insurance industry, from your perspective, what do we typically think of when we're trying to improve our customer experience, and where do our brains tend to opt?
Yeah, I think there's really kind of a couple elements to this, Emma. So first of all, if you ask anyone outside the insurance industry, have you thought about working in the insurance industry, or what do you think of? Like, they immediately think of their agent or broker, right? That's who they see on TV, who they get, direct mail from. That's who they interface with, right? And they don't realize that there's a whole host of insurance professionals behind the scenes that they rarely, if ever, interact with. Like, claims adjuster, of course, only if they have a claim. There's underwriters, there's marketing people, accountants, you name it, right? You got premium auditors, right? The whole works. And so I think just, when we think about the scope of customer experience within insurance industry, we tend to think of like, well, where are those customer interactions, right? And the most proximate person is going to be the agent or broker. And when it comes to agents or brokers, I think there's usually like two schools of thought, right? Either, hey, the agent or broker, they make a difference. They're huge, right? Having the right agent broker for the customer, or they're just, middlemen and women that add cost, but they don't add a lot of value. And, maybe we want to go through a direct to consumer model. And the truth is probably somewhere in the middle, right? Certainly if you have a fantastic agent or broker, you can never replicate that from a technology standpoint, right? But I think if you have a poor experience, then certainly there are some direct to consumers that are better than a really bad agent broker experience. But it tends to focus right on that, on the point of distribution, and we don't tend to widen our lens to think about the holistic aspect of insurance that touches on so many other elements that are often behind the scenes.
So if we start to actually look at like that whole life cycle, and maybe to like the Wizard of Oz, like behind the curtain folks that are helping make everything come together, where do we have this opportunity for a win-win when it comes to maybe helping those folks in the back office get more efficient while also simultaneously improving the customer experience?
I think this is such a key question, Emma, right now. And, you and I have talked in the past about that. This is somewhat of a unique time in the insurance industry, not just with InsurTech, right, and the new technologies, but just this opportunity that I think can present itself today in so many different areas. So, traditionally, there's been a trade-off, right? If I want to improve my customer experiences, if I want to improve my NPS scores, or provide concierge service, or you name it, right? I usually have to spend more, and that could be on the technology side, that could be on a staffing side. I know even from past experience, we've had claims surveys that we wanted to improve the score on, and as an underwriter, we were always like, oh, that means they're going to settle more claims that they shouldn't be settling, right? Or maybe either not deny a claim that maybe they should, or pay more on a claim than they really should. So we were always concerned kind of about the bottom line, even on things like claims, where typically the refrain is, we pay what we owe, no more, no less. And so there's a trade-off, right? And companies kind of pick where they want to be on the spectrum. Like, do I want to be a high expense ratio, but high customer touch, or on the low end? We don't have to make that trade-off anymore. I mean, that's really the big news for today, is that there are so many opportunities to both improve the customer experience and at the same time save expenses. And so I think that's the part that, most folks have not really shifted to that mindset. And when I talk to companies about where they should invest in and look for opportunities for innovation, that's really where they are. And we can get into some of the details on precisely where and what technologies, but I think that's the big message. You can do both. You can both improve your customer experience and save money at the same time.
You're doing my job for me. You just brought up this idea of like, where do we go and what are some of the technologies that you see that we potentially have a big use case for to really taking advantage of that win-win scenario?
Yeah, so I'll mention three different areas that I think at a high level, right, are where companies should really focus. So number one, core systems and moving from a siloed place where you've got a bunch of systems, your billing system, your policy admin system, your claim system, maybe other systems, right? Even going out to the DMV site or cab reports for Department of Transportation, stuff like that. Oftentimes these systems are clunky, they don't interface well, and they cost a lot of money to upgrade. And so, yes, the initial kind of install on your core systems is going to be expensive. There's no two ways around it, but you certainly want to take advantage of what we call platform ecosystems today, where you kind of have this core technology and then this ability to extend through APIs, link systems together, even systems that don't exist today, maybe a year from now are going to be critical. Maybe it's going to be a new insurtech startup and others. And so you very much want to think modularly, and you want to think about kind of how to scale and how to be extensible. In the past, right, you wanted to limit the number of connections and bridges. Now it's about maximizing them. The second is really about all flavors of artificial intelligence. And this goes back to old school, like robotic process automation technology and stuff like that I've been involved in implementations, to the hottest new thing, right? Conversational AI, Chat GPT-4, or ChatGPT, GPT-4, all these different buzzwords, right? It's been really in the headlines in 2023. And so that's really about, right, how can we leverage technology to be more empathetic and to scale, right, to create maybe some of those more human interactions and more customized recommendations, servicing, sales, you name it, right, in a way that we're used to as humans. It goes beyond simple macros levels or, typing information from screen one to screen two, that I think has been the focus on kind of earlier generations of AI. And then finally, kind of leading into the third one is really amplifying humans along the way. So we talk about the importance of humans, but yet there's a lot of humans that are really doing the job that computers should do, right? And they are that data entry person. And so we want to let machines do what they're best at and amplify what humans are best at. So there's a lot of folks like that work in a call center today that maybe could be more effective if they had interfaces with chat technology, with texting, right, to be able to handle multiple accounts at the same time rather than being stuck on the phone with one individual at a time. So, maximizing the most efficient use of their time and leveraging kind of the asynchronous digital means of communication. I can tell you, for instance, claims folks are clamoring for texting capabilities because they spend so much of the time calling, leaving a voicemail on a claimant's number because they don't recognize the number, they don't answer, then they call the claims adjuster back who's already on a call, and they play this game of phone tag. It's like, why not give them that ability to text, right, and to maybe schedule a call or click to call, things like that. So there's just a whole range now of digital technologies that really amplify rather than replacing humans. So sometimes, yes, let machines do what they do best, but other times, if we've got humans, we can still leverage technology just to amplify their strengths.
Thank you so much for joining me, Rob. And for anybody that isn't already, make sure you make your way over to his LinkedIn, give him a follow, subscribe to the newsletter. And if you're going to be around at InsurTech Hartford, you'll see both of our smiling faces there as a part of their Making Waves. But thank you again for joining me, and have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Leading Change. If you liked what you saw, be sure to subscribe and come back weekly for more expert interviews on digital transformation, change management, and emerging technologies.